Hi guys, I'm Shandor, welcome to my cinema. Today I'm going back to the works of Alfred Hitchcock and I'm going to watch his 1948 crime thriller Rope starring the amazing James Stewart. I absolutely loved him in Rear Window and Vertigo. He's an amazing actor, and as far as I know this is Hitchcock's first Technicolor movie, so most likely this is gonna look wonderful. I've been meaning to watch this movie for a long time and finally hear this, so allow me not to waste any more time. Here comes Rope. 3, 2, 1. Yep, already looks beautiful. Kind of reminds me of Dall for Murder. Wow, nice font. Adapted by Hugh Cronin from the play by Patrick Hamilton. Okay, so this was a theater play. Just like I think Dall for Murder was, right? Oh, I like how the music changed from beautiful to menacing. Somebody had a painful orgasm. Oh. Or somebody was killed. I mean, okay, already. Like, that's an interesting way to start a movie.
Not just yet.
Okay, they're clearly shocked, both of them. Most likely this was their first kill. I'm already intrigued. I want to know everything. Why did they do it? What are they looking for? What's happening? That is freaking gorgeous.
There, that's much better.
Incredible framing. Absolutely incredible.
You better put those away. Put them in my checkbook drawer behind that metal box.
And they're gonna leave footprints? Footprints? Fingerprints. Sure, let's leave some footprints.
Out of this, David Kentley had his last drink.
Okay, who's David Kentley? I mean, I'm guessing it's the guy.
Out of character for David to drink anything as corrupt as whiskey.
Out of character for him to be
Ah!
Davids of this world merely occupy space, which is why he was the perfect victim for the perfect murder.
What?
You frightened me. You always have. From that very first day in prep school.
Oh, they've known each other for a long time.
Part of your charm, I suppose.
This is an occasion. It calls for champagne.
Okay, did they do it just out of curiosity?
The power to kill can be just as satisfying as the power to create.
Wow.
We've killed for the sake of danger and for the sake of killing.
Yeah.
We're alive. Truly and wonderfully alive. Even champagne isn't equal to us or the occasion.
I'll take it, though.
Yeah, so they didn't have a motive.
That's the difference between us and the ordinary man, Philip. They talk about committing the perfect crime, but nobody does it. To David, of course.
Has there been a single cut? I don't think there has been.
I felt tremendously exhilarated.
He's a total psycho.
The Kentleys couldn't be duller if they tried. But we did have to have them. After all, they are David's mother and father.
That doesn't make them any easier to talk to. What's this all about?
You'll see. It's brilliant.
These guys are brilliant, I would say. Not a single cut. It's crazy.
Brandon, you're going too far.
Why? What do you mean? I just thought it'd be nice to have supper in here.
Wow. Bizarre. I like it. Okay, this is absolutely fascinating.
Oh, of course.
You know?
You start on the books
Who
now.
is
The
it?
subtle camera
Mrs.
movement
Wilson?
is also absolutely genius, you know? The way it follows the characters, the way it zooms in or zooms out, it's masterful. But yeah, also, just the subject matter is really interesting, you know, killing just for the sake of killing, you know, just for kicks.
A stupid display like that in front of somebody else will be just as good as a confession.
I personally thought my table was quite lovely.
Oh, it was quite lovely. But you see, Mr. Kentley's coming to look at these old books I had in the chest.
Well, I think it looks downright peculiar.
Peculiar?
Very. Particularly those candlesticks. They don't belong there at all.
Piece of rope, Philip. An ordinary household article. Why hide it? Belongs belongs in the kitchen drawer.
A rope? Interesting. But yeah, I'm fascinated, you know, because maybe there was one cut. But this scene has been going on forever, you know, like just the sheer memorization for the actors, you know, that's absolutely freaking fascinating.
Rupert's coming?
Oh, yes, I thought I told you.
Oh, I must say I did enjoy
No,
working for Mr.
you
Goodell.
didn't. I thought you liked Rupert. I do.
Well, then.
Brandon, of all the people on this earth, Rupert Goodell is the one man most likely to suspect.
He could have invented and he could have admired, but he never could have acted. That's where we're superior, Philip. We have courage. Rupert doesn't. Now the fun begins.
Yeah, this is absolutely fascinating.
Hello, come in. How are you, Brandon? Fine. Just put your hat.
Oh, he's checking the lock.
It isn't someone's birthday, is it?
Don't look so worried, Kenneth. It's really almost the opposite. Most decorative.
Think so?
She's lovely.
David going to be here?
Of course.
Who else is coming?
Oh, no one you don't know, if that's what's bothering you. The Kentleys, Janet Walker.
Janet. Well, Janet and David are...
Hello, Mrs. Wilson.
Oh,
May I?
interesting. Okay.
And cheer up. I have the oddest feeling anyway that your chances with the young lady are much better than you think.
Because David's dead.
I always knew I had good taste.
You do. You look lovely.
I won't by the time it's all paid for. I never know when I'm being funny. Whenever I try to be, I lay the bomb of all time. Hello, Ken.
Hello, Jan.
Well, that was fascinating, wasn't it?
What would you say to some champagne?
Hello, Champagne.
What are you chattering about?
Why did you invite Kenneth?
Oh, why not?
You know perfectly well why not. We called it quits ages ago, and I'm practically engaged to his best friend.
Whoa.
David?
Yes, David.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Sorry, but it is a little difficult trying to keep up with your romances. After me came Kenneth, now it's David.
Oh, interesting. There's some drama here.
Rupert Goodell, he was our housemaster at prep school.
Housemaster for you, three little dears.
4 little dears. He tried valiantly to teach David, too.
Usually philosophy.
Oh, small print, big words. No.
True.
For example, he thinks murder is a crime for most men, but...
A privilege for the few.
What?
Mrs. Kentley isn't well, so I took the liberty of bringing my sister-in-law, Mrs. Atwater. She's been staying with us.
Oh, delighted to have you, Mrs. Atwater.
Delighted to come, dear boy.
I was down for 3 weeks. The doctors were
excuse
just
me.
about ready.
This way, Mrs. Atwater.
Particularly at parties.
Particularly this is all.
Yeah, this is freaking fantastic. I mean, overlapping dialogue, you know, just like it would actually happen in real life. But at the same time, you can say that everything is, what the heck?
Mr. Kelly, may I get you some?
Well, I prefer a little scotch with a lot of water, if you don't mind. Is David here?
Yes.
The trouble with David is he doesn't have to study. He's too bright.
Well, David does all right, very much so.
Not anymore.
Why don't I call and tell her he's been detained?
No, you mustn't pamper her, Janet.
David might even have stopped off to see her.
Mr. Kelly?
May I use the phone?
Of course, it's in the bedroom. She's in the bedroom telephoning.
Then you'd like David to walk in.
Oh, no, that'd be too much of a shock.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be. Aha. Okay, so maybe you can hide cuts there when they're filming somebody's back, you know? In that case, this was probably the 3rd cut of the movie. It's crazy.
You don't remember the hour of your birth by any chance?
No.
She's just like my mom.
Good
She,
finger. Strong.
in her later years, she became absolutely fascinated with astrology and things like that.
These hands will bring you great fame.
We shall see about that. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Everything about this is pretty much freaking fantastic. James Stewart. That's James Stewart.
Brandon's spoken of you.
Did he do me justice?
Do you deserve justice?
Well,
It's awfully good to see you again. Why? Well, don't mind me. Very pleased to see you again. You always did stutter when you were excited.
well, I guess I'm always excited when I give a party.
Really?
Mr. Goodell.
I think James Stewart is going to see through all this facade. This is going to be interesting.
I may marry her.
It looks heavenly. I hope David gets here soon.
Yes, where is David?
Very close. Very close.
Why are we eating off it?
Oh, I've turned the dining room into a library.
Trust you to find a new use for a chest. It was about a lovely young girl.
She was a bride-to-be, and on her wedding day, she playfully hid herself in a chest.
Oh.
Yes, that's right.
Unfortunately, it had a spring lock. 50 years later, they found her skeleton.
Don't think I'll get that playful.
This is...
Bergman. What is it called now? The something of the something. No, that's the other one. This was just plain something. Well, what did you see her in?
I don't quite recall the something. Or was it just plain something? Really, something rather like that.
I don't believe you
He's
ever
a
went.
character. Oh, God. Everybody is, actually. This is awesome.
And in the yard, Philip was doing likewise to the necks of 2 or 3 chickens.
Oh, dear.
It was a task he usually performed very competently.
There's no word of truth in the whole story. I never strangled a chicken in my life.
Now, look here, Philip.
I
Just because
never strangled a chicken, and you know it.
Oh, the look on James Stewart's face. Yeah, that was a very harsh reaction, wasn't it?
In another moment, you might have been strangling each other instead of a chicken.
Well, really?
But a man's honor was at stake. And personally, I think a chicken is as good a reason for murder as a blonde, a mattress full of dollar bills, or any of the customary unimaginative reasons. Think of the problems it would solve: unemployment, poverty, standing in line for theater.
That's an interesting take.
After all, murder is, or should be, an art. Not one of the 7 lively, perhaps, but an art nevertheless. And as such, the privilege of committing it should be reserved for those few who are really superior in
How do you define that?
victims, inferior beings whose lives are unimportant anyway.
obviously.
What?
Personally, I would prefer to have cut her throat weak.
I must confess, I really don't appreciate this morbid humor.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, the notion that murder is an art which a few superior beings should be allowed to practice.
In season.
Now, I know you're not serious.
But I am.
That's
I'm a very serious fellow.
absolutely ridiculous view.
The few who are privileged to commit murder.
And just who might...
Exactly.
Myself, Philip, possibly Rupert.
Why?
Good and evil, right and wrong were invented for the ordinary average man, the inferior man, because he needs them.
Then obviously you agree with Nietzsche and his theory of the Superman.
Yes, I do.
So did Hitler.
Yep.
Fools anyway. There are far too many in the world.
Then perhaps you should hang me, Brandon, for I confess I'm so stupid I don't know whether you're all serious or not.
Okay, this is absolutely fascinating from a philosophical point of view, you know? But at the same time, I completely disagree with James Stewart's views.
May I use the telephone first? I'd like to talk to my wife. She may have some word of David.
Of course, it's this way.
In a way, they're really, really stupid because they're talking plainly about something that they just committed, you know?
I used to read quite a bit.
Oh, we all do strange things in our childhood.
I should think you'd have the decency to be embarrassed yourself.
Why?
You threw me over, John, remember?
I was him.
I even knew about you and David.
What? Kenneth, he pretended to be completely ignorant when I told him. He
What's
said...
going on here anyway?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out once and for
Oh,
all.
now they're suspecting things. Good.
I'd like to know why you had the gall to tell Kenneth he wouldn't have to worry very much longer about David and me.
Yep.
I don't think that's precisely what I said,
It's
Kenneth.
what you implied, and I want to know why. I don't believe David's coming.
Wait and see.
I don't have to. He's never this late. He's never late at all. And if something had come up, he'd have phoned. I think you deliberately arranged it so that he wouldn't come.
Oh!
Well, you always plan your party so well, it's odd to have anything go wrong. She seems to be missing David. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning to miss him myself.
Uh-huh. Cuts.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, that's where you can hide the cuts.
Both of them must have got up out of the wrong side of the bed. They've been in a state all day.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Brandon says he's always in a state when he gives a party.
But then when I was whisking out to do the shopping, he suddenly told me to take the whole afternoon for it.
He's
The whole
totally gonna
afternoon.
figure it out.
After that mad rush in the morning, bring them in here and put them back in the chest,
Oh.
which is where they were in the first place.
Oh.
Why did you serve from here, anyway?
It wasn't my idea. I had everything laid out in the dining room, and it was just beautiful. Of course, unless they used the apple.
Because this way, people don't have to go all the way into the dining room to get their food and come all the way back here to eat it.
Seems to me they've gone all the way in there now for their dessert and coffee.
Yep.
I get quite intrigued when people don't answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite curious.
Did you ask me a question?
Yes, Philip. What's it all about, Philip?
Now stop playing crime and punishment, Rupert. You want to know something? Come out with it. Otherwise...
Oh, no, temper. You know, Philip, I wish I could come straight out with what I want to know. Unfortunately, I don't know anything. I merely suspect.
Uh-huh.
But am I so far off the track?
There's nothing going on at all, Rupert.
More than usually allergic to the truth tonight, Philip. It's the second time you haven't told it.
Thanks. When was the first?
When you said you'd never strangled a chicken.
Oh.
You're quite a good chicken strangler, as I recall.
Oh.
Well, I just meant that Brandon's story wasn't true. I can't play with that thing.
I want you to have them very much.
It's extremely generous of you.
This is freaking fascinating. This is fantastic.
It's really very nice.
As the tension slowly rising in this. It's absolutely incredible.
Whenever he's been detained before, he's telephoned. Isn't that so, Dennis?
Oh, yes, he's always...
Oh, that rope.
Rupert's onto something.
He isn't, no. Let him
Oh, yes, he
Have
is.
a drink, Brandon. Enough. You're not Take your hand off my arm.
Of course, if he's not at home, where could he be?
Framing. That's where David is.
In a number of places.
Yeah.
The club or the Bradley.
This is so good.
Or maybe he went down to Janet's.
Why?
Well, perhaps he decided to pick her up after all.
I phoned my place after I spoke with Mrs. Kentley.
He wasn't there?
No.
Oh,
I
she's
left a
about
message
to open the
just-
chest.
I thought I heard David on the phone to Philip yesterday morning.
Oh.
Yes, you did. I'd forgotten.
Oh, what were you talking to him about? Did he call about the party?
Yes, he wanted to make sure about the time. That was all.
Here,
Oh.
Well, I didn't have any idea of coming in the morning.
Well, I'm afraid you have to. Just let the books go for now.
Well, all right.
Not suspicious at all, huh?
She thinks he may have had an accident. She wants you to call the police.
The police?
Oh, no, Anita. I don't think that's necessary.
What, again, what an amazing shot.
Going with Janet?
yes. We're all going together.
What did I predict?
You'll laugh at you.
He's such a slimy bastard.
That's not yours.
Oh, is that David? Yes. Yes. By the way, still, there were so little edits. It's absolutely crazy. Like, the filmmaking and everything in this is just absolutely fantastic.
Determined to get drunk, aren't you?
I am drunk.
And just as childish as you were before when you called me a liar.
You had no business telling that story.
Why did you lie anyway?
I had to. I'm scared to death, Brandon. I think we're going to get caught.
Oh, yes.
Oh, there's not a chance. Oh, there was, I suppose, but not anymore. Well, is that you, Mrs. Wilson?
Yes.
Brandon, it's Rupert.
What?
He wants to come up. He says he left a cigarette case here. He wants to come up.
Well, let him come.
But you know he's lying. He's caught on. He'll leave
Shut
it.
up and get back to that phone.
I won't.
Get back to that phone.
Brandon, I can't.
You've got to.
No, he knows. Shut up.
It was about time, actually, but...
I don't know how much, if anything, Rupert knows, but I promise you, he'll be out of here in 5 minutes, one way or the other.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps.
Any idea where you left the case?
No, not at all. Completely unlike me to forget it, isn't it? I suppose a psychoanalyst would say that I didn't really forget it at all. I unconsciously left it because I wanted to come back.
Ha! Ha ha!
Oh, well, here it is, right where I left it. Gentlemen, I beg your pardon. I'm very sorry. Well, may I have that drink anyway?
Of course.
You really don't mind?
No, why should we?
Well, you might be
What?
tired.
Well, we're all packed.
Oh, I see. All ready. All except one guest must be gotten rid of. Especially when the evening has been unusually stimulating or strange. Like this evening.
What do you mean, strange?
I was thinking about David.
Guys, this is a freaking masterpiece.
Yes, it must have been broad daylight when it happened.
When it happened.
When, what happened?
Masterful.
I couldn't help overhearing Janet. I gather she thinks you kidnapped David, or did something to prevent him from coming.
How would you get David out of the way?
Now, you're much better at this sort of thing than I am.
What would you do?
Is that a compliment, though?
I'd invite him for a drink. At the club or some quiet bar. Or better still, I'd invite him here. And no one would see us together. David would arrive, I'd walk slowly out of the room into the hall and greet him. Tell him how fine he's looking and so forth. And take his hat.
Yep, which is right there.
Small talk to put him at his ease. Probably offer him a drink.
Yes. Wow, he figured it out.
Then he'd sit down.
Yes?
I'd
This
try
is
to make it all
amazing.
very pleasant, you understand. Philip would probably play the piano.
Oh my god, this is so
Now,
good.
as I recall, David was quite strong.
Was.
He'd have to be knocked out.
He said was.
Said yourself that if anything did happen, it must have happened in broad daylight.
Oh, that's right, I'd forgotten. Now, that means I'd have to find some place to hide the body until dark.
Yes, you would, but, where, Rupert?
Cat and mouse, cat and mouse.
Philip.
Which is the cat and which is the mouse?
Enough of that. If it weren't that you seem to be carrying fear of discovery in your pocket.
What?
That's a gun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, here, you can relax. I have to take it up to the country. There have been several burglaries, and Mother's a bit on edge.
It's odd the way one can pyramid simple facts into wild fantasies, isn't it?
Oh, we all do it, don't we, Philip? Philip, you'll feel much better once you get out in the open air.
Does he have a gun?
I don't think there'll be much traffic, and we ought to make
Rope.
good time.
But driving with you and Philip now might have an additional element of suspense.
He's got it. He knows. He knows.
All right.
He knows.
Easy. I'll take care
No,
of it.
you won't. No, you have to have him here. And now we're done for. Now I don't. No. You made me.
Philip is ruining everything. Uh-oh. Okay, I figured.
But I don't want to fence anymore. What are you going to do? I don't want to. But I'm going to look inside that chest.
Yep.
I've got to look inside that chest.
All right. Go ahead and look. I hope you like what you see.
Wow. Oh. We don't get to see it? We do. Again, there was a cut.
Oh, no.
Rupert, that's all we've done. That's all Philip and I have done. He and I have lived what you and I have talked.
Yeah, which is a really stupid fucking concept.
And I've tried to clear my way with logic and superior intellect.
Define superior intellect.
You've thrown my own words right back in my face, Brandon. You were right, too. If nothing else, a man should stand by his words. But you've given my words a meaning that I never dreamed of.
Because you're an idiot.
And you mean? I mean that tonight you've made me ashamed of every concept I ever had of superior or inferior beings.
Because that's stupid to begin with.
That we are each of us a separate human being, Brandon. With the right to live and work and think as individuals.
Duh.
But with an obligation to the society we live in.
Duh.
By what right did you dare decide that that boy in there was inferior and therefore could be killed?
Yes, but how did you hold these concepts?
It's not what I'm going to do, Brandon. It's what society's going to do. I don't know what that'll be, but I can guess. And I can help. You're going to die, Brandon. Both of you.
Amazing performance, by the way. Yeah, this is a freaking fascinating movie. Brandon's just having a drink. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, I loved absolutely every second of this movie. This is a freaking masterpiece. I kind of feel like Dial for Murder is a spiritual successor to this, you know? But I actually enjoyed this one better, even though I really enjoyed Dial for Murder as well. But this one, this is a freaking masterpiece. The theater play must have been fantastic. And it's crazy how well this translates into a movie format, you know? I'm absolutely fascinated by the acting. The directing is absolutely out of this world. The cinematography, the way the camera moves, everything about this is absolutely fantastic. Now, I think I should watch this movie again because there was a really interesting philosophical conversation in this. And in the end, James Stewart's character said that, how dare you interpret my views as you did, and how dare you kind of deem David to be inferior to you and just kill him based on that. You know, he said, you twisted my words. I have a problem with that because, you know, they were having this conversation in the middle of the movie. And basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, and that's why I'm saying maybe I should watch this movie again, but to me it seemed like that Rupert, you know, James Stewart's character, actually believes in these kind of views. So in his words, there are people who are intellectually inferior, therefore they're above morals. So for these kind of people, murder is justified. At least that's how I interpret his views. So in a way, I'm not surprised that Brandon and Philip actually acted it out, you know? Of course, this is a totally flawed view of the world and people, you know, which thankfully at the end, Rupert came to realize. But still, I think it's totally hypocritical for him to say that, you know, how dare you twist my words like that? I never meant that. Well, I think you did, you know? So that's an interesting thing. Now, the reason I'm saying maybe I should watch this movie again is because maybe I missed something, you know, in the conversation. Let me know in the comments, okay? But it's interesting how obviously Rupert's character has morals. So, you know, obviously he doesn't condone murder and whatever, but at the same time he did speak about it, that, you know, murder could be justified. So that's an interesting thing. But other than that, this whole thing is absolutely fantastic. This is one of the best Hitchcock movies I've ever seen, and I'm yet to see a bad one, so that's something. So guys, thank you so much for watching this movie together with me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe, and see you next time at the cinema. Hitchcock is a freaking master. Bye.